Do you want to feel better, have more energy, and be your best and healthiest self? We want the same for you, and that's why your friends at the Total You Show are connecting with top industry experts to deliver the best information to you right where you are. Please welcome your host from the Total You Show.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Total You Show. I am Linda Bailey, CEO of Total You and Total Equine Health, and today's episode is a little different because you're just going to hear from me. Periodically, we may run what's called a solo cast, and that's where we focus on a health topic, something we've researched or know something about, and that's what I'm going to do today. This episode is all about feeling stuck. Maybe you're in a job you don't like, you're apart from people and you miss seeing them, or maybe you've had some goals that you've wanted to hit and you've tried your hardest, but you just can't quite seem to hit them. I don't know about you, but I've kind of been all over the place throughout this pandemic. I've been concerned about the business, concerned about reaching my own personal goals, and socially not being able to get with family and friends as often. So the social distancing thing, while it's very necessary, it's just not something that me as an extrovert wants to have to deal with. And maybe you guys can relate to that. So today's episode is more along the mental side of health, like how you get around feeling stuck, or if you feel like you're at a dead end. When this happens, don't just dwell on it. Do something about it. And here are some steps that you can take that I've researched that may help a little bit. So the most important thing that you can do is to figure out exactly why you feel stuck. Is it because you're in a job you don't like? Do you feel alone and that you're out of touch? Or do you want to lose weight or have a workout routine but don't know what to do to reach your goal? Writing things down gives you a lot of clarity. Now, I'm not a person who's big on journaling. I don't think it's wrong, I just don't do it. But I do make lists. Or if I have a big decision to make, sometimes I'll write down the pros and cons to help me make that decision. Whatever it takes for you to jot some thoughts down on paper, writing it down really seems to bring clarity to a situation. And if after all of that you still feel there's something you haven't uncovered, there are counselors, personal and or business coaches, lots of people out there that can help you. And I'll say more about this in a minute. But reach out. That's the biggest thing. Decide why you feel stuck, and then look for those resources that can help you out. So once you know why you feel the way you do, the next step is literally to decide to fix it. And it sounds so simple, but if you don't do it, no one else is going to do it for you. So making the decision to change whatever is wrong is crucial. Otherwise, you're going to continue the direction you've been going in. And I know you all have heard this comment before, but it bears repeating here. And this is by Albert Einstein. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. So right now, make the decision to change. So what you can do once you've decided to change, take a pencil or pen and make another list. Yep, you gotta write this stuff down. Make a list of all the small changes that you can make to make your situation better. So when you do this, all it's about is just getting everything in your head down on paper. Don't judge what you've put down. Don't think that's the craziest thing you've ever heard. Write it all down. This is just a time to get your thoughts out of your head. It's not the time to weed out those thoughts. Just write everything down. And then you can start prioritizing. So most of the time, the reason we don't hit our goals is because we've set too big a goal. If we break that huge goal down into smaller tasks that you can accomplish, maybe one simple thing each day or each week, then you stand a much better chance of meeting that goal. So the next thing, again, once you've got all the things out of your head, you go through and prioritize what's the best plan of action to take to reach your goal. So that's the time when you can go through and weed out some of the things that may or may not make sense and prioritize them. And then again, focus on the small things that you can do every day to get you to where you want to be. When you start to make those small changes and just check them off your list, you start to feel accomplished. You feel like you've made some progress, and it literally gives you motivation to keep going. It's also a way to track where you are on the way to your goal. And anything that you can do to help you stay motivated, to stay positive about where you are and where you're going to go is critical. Another step, so once you've prioritized what you need to do, now you need to set a time frame to get it accomplished. So actually, beside each task, you want to put a date and time, and again, that helps keep you motivated to getting the job done. So make sure it's realistic, that it's not too big a task, that you can do within the time frame that you're setting. Again, we just want to make small changes at a time that are realistic, that you can do to help you get to your goal. Next, make sure you keep this list somewhere where you'll see it either once a day or at least multiple times a week. You want to be checking in and hold yourself accountable for getting these things done. And if you keep your goals in front of you, you won't forget your plan. So then you know what you need to do each day to reach your goal. And you really need to remember you are important. And one of the best things you can do for yourself is to help yourself reach your goals. So now that you've decided on your goals and you've broken down the steps you can take into the small actions, you've prioritized them, you've written everything down and you've assigned a date to them, and you're looking at it every day, I've also got a few other little things that might help you along the way to keep you on track. So one of the biggest things is speak kindly to yourself. I know in the beginning when I've tried to reach a goal, it may have been a goal of mine for a long time, and I've been down this path and I've tried this multiple times before. And you may end up like me being a bit hard on yourself. So you may feel like, oh, I wish I'd done this 10 years ago, or, I've done this and was a failure all these other times. You can't think that way. You have to literally shift your mindset and stop focusing on the negative. Towards the end of the month, we're going to have someone come on to speak primarily about mindset and things that you can do along these lines to help you with anything in your life. But where I'm going with this is, instead of focusing on the coulda, shoulda, wouldas, focus on what you're doing now, which is keeping up with your plan and focusing on those small steps. You got to give yourself a break. You're not going to be perfect. Just get over it and follow your plan. One last thing to keep in mind also, it's your responsibility to make yourself happy. Don't depend on others to make you happy. Stay focused and be positive. Keep your goal in front of you and follow the steps that we've already talked about. Another thing, be careful who you share your goals with. If you are talking to somebody and trying to get the opinion of someone about your goal, if they haven't done what you want to do or been down the road that you have to go down, chances are they may not have such good advice. You want to be in touch with people who have successfully done what you're trying to do. People have good intentions, but you want the support of others who've been down your path and who can help you get through it. There are going to be days that aren't as easy as some. And on those days when you feel like giving up or you haven't reached your goal in the amount of time that you had set, that's when you need to have somewhat like an accountability partner, or whatever you want to call it, someone that can help get you back on track. Another thing, and this kind of goes along with what we just discussed, but you need to let go of the things that are weighing you down. I have a great article, and I'm going to reference it below so you can click on the link. And this is literally about 17 things that can weigh you down. These might be things that you've never even thought of, but when you read them, they might really make sense and, ring true to you so that you can try to, let them go. So follow that link, check out these 17 things. Focus on changing if any of these things apply to you. Another thing, invest in yourself. So after doing all these things and you still feel like you need help, investing in yourself, such as getting a life coach or a business coach, checking out some podcasts on the subject that discuss, what you want to do, books, whatever it is, surround yourself with anything it would take for you to feel worthy. Take time to work on yourself. Again, maybe it's going to get a massage. Maybe it's, hiring a coach. Whatever that is, you are worth it, and you need to make yourself a priority. And one other thing, focus on what you can do for others, not just yourself. Sometimes we just need to help someone else to take the spotlight off ourselves. I know we're still in the middle of this pandemic, but there are things you can do to help others. You can get involved with a charity group. For example, I know League of Older Americans still needs help delivering food to shut-ins. You can do that safely. You can join various walking or running groups that social distance. There's a number of things that you can still do and be safe while you're helping others and not focusing on yourself. Again, so for any other ideas, you can do an online search, talk to like-minded people, see what they're doing. It makes you feel good that you can make a difference in others' lives. And again, it kind of takes the focus off of you for a bit. Sometimes we can get bogged down when we're focused totally on ourselves and what we're going through. So that is the information I had for you. So I hope you've all learned something from it. I know maybe you've heard all of this before, but maybe this would help you get refocused again. I just want to bring hope to people that you can make changes, and making these steps or putting these things in priority and listing them out is a way that you can help bring about change. So I hope this podcast gives you some ideas you can use to make some positive changes in your life. And if you're struggling with pain, anxiety, depression, you can do all of that with photobiomodulation or red light therapy. In 20 minutes or less, you can really make a difference. So if you want to try this out, that's what we specialize in at Total U Health. You can call us at 540-404-8858 or go online to book your first time visit, which is only $25. So see the link below in the podcast notes to take advantage of that. And lastly, I'm curious to see how many of you out there listen to podcasts. I'd love to get some feedback on this. So please comment. And if you do listen to podcasts, what do you primarily listen to? I'd love to have, a podcast that literally just helps you find what you want to hear. So that's sometime down the road, but please comment, let us know what you listen to or what you'd like to listen to, and maybe we can find that for you. So I am somewhat new to the podcast world, but the inspiration for me to do the podcast today came from a podcast I heard on the SheDidItHerWay.com show. And I saw an interview with Amanda Jane Clarkson. This podcast, or the one I heard with Amanda Jane Clarkson, is more about building a business. But the one with her was more about turning problems into opportunities. So if you want to check that out, it's a really good podcast. So, and I would love to hear from others of you that might have listened to similar ones that we could all share with each other. So we hope to see you again right here every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. for another interview on The Total You Show. So please give us your comments. Again, on the other topics that are important to you. I'm Linda Bailey. I wish you much success, no matter what your goal. Thanks for listening.
That's all for this episode of The Total You Show. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, podcast, follow us on social media, and tune in to next week's episode. Helping you achieve the healthiest version of you, that's Total You.